Come with us where the corn is popped and the throwback Thursdays never stop. It's a magical land not far away. All you have to do is just press play.
So
hop on the couch and close your eyes. Gonna party like it's 99. Join us, watch the movies of our lives with Blockbuster Wives.
welcome to Blockbuster Wives, where your two favorite 90s babies talk about movies from the era of a certain blue and yellow video rental store. I'm your host with the most, late fees, Shea Baby.
And this is Stacy, not always kind, but always rewinds. And you're listening to
Blockbuster Wives. Wow.
Welcome.
I feel like it's been 1,000 years since we recorded, but I know that's not true.
It's not true, but we have had a freakishly busy summer.
That is so true.
It's like birthdays, events, trips,
since April.
Parties.
I feel like we've been just nonstop going, baby.
In fact, for my birthday, I was like, I don't want to do anything.
And she didn't.
So we basically did nothing.
And you know what? I'm proud because usually we jam pack our birthdays. Mm-hmm. So I'm proud of you that you were just like, I'm going to listen to my body and just fucking chill.
Well, I'm also not that, I've never really been like that much into my birthday.
I'm like, we? That's just me.
I'm not like one of those people where it's like, I don't like celebrating my birthday because I'm getting older.
True.
I just have never felt a special connection to my birthday the way I do other holidays. Like I really feel connected to Christmas.
Yeah.
I feel weirdly connected to like New Year. Like I love New Year. I also love Halloween. Very connected to Halloween.
We both. Yeah, we
Birthday,
love fucking Halloween.
I don't really feel a lot.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I'm a big fan of Thanksgiving, but not because of like the reason for the holiday. It's just
because
like
you love colonialism. Admit
and we love no, but I do love the food, and I love like the sense of like bringing people together and like feeling grateful.
And the weather is usually nice.
Yeah, which is good because I'm always in the kitchen and I need to like step outside, you know, and it's like nice and cool and crisp. Oh God, I can't wait till the fall. Stacy's so lovely, and she allowed us to drink her butter beers today. We usually have like a beverage that we drink every time we record. So we have butter beers and we have a fall candle going. So it just feels like fall vibes.
Yeah, we apparently want fall right now in the middle of July.
And you know what? The movie that we're about to talk about it feels very fall-esque as well. So it makes sense to me. But
yeah, and shout out to my coworkers for getting me these butter beers for my birthday.
Yeah, so sweet. Thank you for allowing me to mooch.
Oh yeah, of course. They got me a lot. They got me like 8 bottles.
Stacy and I went to Harry Potter World at Universal Studios, and I probably, no exaggeration, drank like 6 in one day.
They were so good.
Like, you're like, you want another one? Okay. And I'm just like, I know that I shouldn't be, but they're just so fucking good.
Well, and like it's not possible in the bottled form we have, but at the park they do like almost like a cold foam on top. Dude. That is
sensual. Like so fucking good. These aren't alcoholic, are they?
I don't think so.
It'd be sick if they were also.
Yeah,
but
I actually don't know.
You know what? Does it say on the back? Let me look.
If it were alcoholic, it should. You know, I don't think so. I'm not
No.
tasting alcohol.
I don't think it is. Not that it matters, but no, it's not. So yum. I want to savor the flavor, but I know I'm just gonna be.
I always think of I think it's Hermione says, "Well, that's not strong stuff, is it?" And then Dobby says, "'Tis strong for an house elf."
Oh,
cut to poor Winky going through it.
Winky, little baby. I need to reread those books. The last time I read them, I was working at Italy, and I would just stand at the computer and look it up online, and I would read it. I would like copy and paste it on a website into an email, so it looked like I was emailing, but I was really.
Oh my God, that's so smart, everybody! You hear that shit? You heard it here today. I have to read a lot of important emails, and it's just like the boy who lived.
Yeah, they're like, Hedwig? I'm like, yes, that's my uncle. I don't know.
You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't get it. No, but yeah, that's a little tip from me to you, because fuck capitalism.
And you can just find them online?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just found them online.
Did you do it by chapter, or like what was your system?
Yeah, so like it was by chapter, because it would have like a different page for each chapter. So like I would copy and paste the whole thing, go to the email, paste it, read the whole thing, delete, go to the next one, and like, yeah. It was a whole system, and I never got caught.
How far did you get?
I read up until the 3rd book.
Wow.
Like, first through the 3rd.
Nice.
And then I quit. So
both Italy and reading them that way.
but I've been, you know what? I'm very proud of myself because I've been reading like pretty often, which is
what you reading?
I finished Page Boy.
Oh yeah.
Elliot Page's book, you guys.
Sometimes you need the right book to jumpstart you back into your reading vibes.
And I told you that I'm going to read your book
One
next.
last stop. So good.
It's like, and I don't know, I've probably read like a 4th of it, and I really loved it, and then I just took a break, but I'm going to finish that one next because it is so fucking cute, and it's so good. I
was going to wait till the end to read this review, but all this book talk is making me think of it because we got a review from one of my favorite Bookstagram queens / my coworker Lauren, and let me pull up her account to make sure I'm saying it right. Her Instagram with her best friend, so very much a Blockbuster Wives-esque production.
Shouts out.
Is girl_check yo shelf.
Yes.
It's an amazing Bookstagram. Like, they're so good at social media. Like, all of their posts are like beautiful, color coordinated, gorgeous. I don't know how they do it. But anyways, let me bring up the review that Lauren left from Girl Check Yo Shelf.
Hell to the yeah.
She gave us 5 stars. Said, I notoriously do not watch movies, but when I found this podcast, I couldn't resist. Wow, is this funny? These two have such great banter, are incredibly informative, and come up with all the interesting movie facts I wouldn't know otherwise. Absolutely recommend. Also, they have quality, soothing voices.
Oh my God, we have quality,
Thanks,
soothing
Lauren.
voices.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Such a nice review. If you want to leave a review, please do it. Helps us a lot. Makes us look poppin'.
Even if you don't want to.
You don't want to.
Still fucking
consider
should,
it.
please. It just, first of all, it makes our days better. Second of all, we're going to shout you out.
Yeah. Shout you out.
Did I say shout you out? That means it'll be even more excitable. And
it'd actually be funny too if like you gave it 5 stars but then like roasted us. It'd be kind of funny.
You know what? It kind of, actually, I can think of a couple people that would do that shit. So like, just leave a review, please. It makes our days better. We shout you out. And also, it helps. It really does. Helps with a lot of things. Like, it legitimizes us a little bit. And speaking of legitimize,
in the eyes of the man. Blah.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. But speaking of legitimize, Stacy and I have made a decision that we are going to Shrek Fest 2023.
Shrek Fest.
And yet again, we will need your help, financially.
Because we have to get plane tickets, we have to get a hotel room, we have to get a rental car. Like, it costs a little pretty penny.
It sure does. And again, this year we're going to be providing so much content. We're going to be interviewing. We're going to be taking pictures. We're going to be rocking out. And I really mean rocking out because it's very likely that I will be on stage.
Yeah, Shea will likely be on stage rocking out. I'll likely be on stage eating an onion. I really am going to like try and prepare and train for this.
I really want you to.
I do love raw onions. Like,
yeah, I know.
I could eat a lot of them. So I'm feeling pretty good.
You know what? Maybe one day, maybe every time we get together, we should train a little bit. It'll be like Rocky. We should make like a Rocky video of you just training eating onions.
And then it won't be a surprise because I'll be totally honest. I thought about doing it last time, guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Yeah.
But then I got scared that I would become physically ill. And I felt like my fears were very well founded because that is exactly what happened to somebody on stage. And I was like,
it was the dude that hit on me.
Yeah, if you remember, if you go back and watch our videos, he was in the puffy pig costume doing cartwheels and hitting on Shea. Who could have foretold that it would end with such tragedy?
Honestly, respect. And I hope I see him again this year because he was so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, we thought he was kind of kidding when he said he was going to do a cartwheel. And then he did like a walk up the wall cartwhel. Like, it was actually like some Matrix shit.
It was fucking cool. And honestly, like, he did have the riz. He really did.
Have the riz. And then he lost the riz on stage.
Well, he was also,
what I mean.
Yeah, he was very drunk too. So he was like drunk eating raw onion, doing cartwheels and shit. Like, homie was
perfect storm.
Cirque du Soleil. He was Cirque du Soleil slaying that shit, and then flew too far close to the sun.
Yes.
Apparently, when pigs fly, they throw up onion on stage. Got him.
That's why you don't see it too often. It's not because they lack the ability. They just don't want the smoke.
It's so bad. I felt really bad for him, but you know what? I hope I see him again. Shouts out if you're listening. Anyway, so if you guys follow our Instagram, which is just at BlockbusterWives, we have a link tree. So if you just like click the link in our bio, it'll bring you right to all of our links, and right at the very top, it says like, bring us to Shrekfest again. And if you click on that, that's our GoFundMe.
Yeah,
and
y'all did it last year, and it was great. So we're hoping we can recreate that success.
Yes, and for your viewing pleasure, we also created a promo video, which, if I do say so myself, is not only sexual and educational, but like beyond thrilling and just,
dare I say, inspiring?
Oh, you dare say. And I'm proud of you, and because it's true. It's so inspiring and like awe-inducing as well.
Like Grand Canyon, our promo video. Right
Interchangeable
there.
Ideas.
Same feelings.
The same exact yearning for wonder and excellence. But yeah, please, and if you can't donate, we totally understand, but like please share and like just spread the word. Doesn't matter.
Leave a review, that's free.
Yeah, leave a review, share, you know what I mean? Just like, we really need your help and we appreciate it. We also need new equipment. So
yeah, we got a mic for last year and it broke,
like,
sadly.
right before we could interview, what was his name? The guy that was dressed.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah. This guy looked so much like Lord Farquaad. He was so cool, and we almost interviewed him. And you know what? He was the dude that had the big YouTube video that like blew up. He's like a famous YouTuber, and we almost fucking interviewed him.
God damn it. See, we need some better equipment.
Yeah, so we're gonna need your help. So we appreciate you guys so much. You always show out for us, so we're not worried, but we would appreciate it.
We're so grateful.
Yeah, we talk about you guys and all the help that you provide us all the time, and we just love you. So thank you so much for that, and just for everything, just being yourselves. We really appreciate you. Now, what other news did we have? We had some other news for them, right? Or no?
I think that's about it.
Okay, cool. Well, we're about to review a movie at the start of this month, which we are calling Road Trip Month. And we've had this planned since literally last year.
Yeah, and I don't remember if we announced the movies we were going to do for our favorite movie month, but it kind of got off the rails. So we did some rearranging.
Yep.
So we are going to do Shay's favorite films now and then later for a different theme, which we'll reveal as it gets closer.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is one of Shay's all-time favorites. You probably mentioned this like within minutes of meeting me originally.
I'm sure I did. Yeah, so we're starting off Road Trip Month strong with my favorite road trip movie called Tommy Boy, starring Chris Farley and David Spade. It is my all-time favorite movie for many fucking reasons, but whenever I think of road trip movies, I think of Tommy Boy first and foremost, and then I think of Dumb and Dumber.
Well, and I think that this also fits with your love of SNL from this era, because as I'll go over in Corporate Bullshit, this might be like the most SNL-y movie made.
I agree, and all like beyond it being like super based on like having a lot of SNL people coming through, it also is just like a behind the scenes like peephole into David Spade and Chris Farley's relationship in general, which is really cool. But yeah, I say we just hop right in.
All right, I'll start with Corporate Bullshit. Play that theme.
Corporate bullshit.
Some bullshit.
All right.
Giggity good.
So Tommy Boy came out at the end of March of 1995, which was 2 years before Chris Farley's very sad death at age 33.
December 18th, 1997.
Stars Chris Farley, David Spade, Bo Derek, and Rob Lowe.
Hell yeah.
And I just, since Chris Farley, I mean, he's pretty much the reason you love this movie, and R.I.P. King, and I just thought I'd open the floor for you to share your thoughts on Chris Farley, what he's meant to you, etc.
Sure. Why am I getting weirdly emotional right now?
You can cry. It's sad. It is sad.
I love Chris Farley so much. I'm literally about to start crying. He's one of my favorite performers and actors of all time. And I don't even know when I would have discovered him. I guess it would have been when I was like 3, probably. Because for some reason, and I really don't know why, we started, like, my family started watching SNL together when I was like 3. And I still remember watching like early 90s SNL.
When your brother would have been probably at the age where he was really interested in it, right?
Well, Baron would have been 5.
Oh, okay.
So it's like weird that we were so young and watching it together. But yeah, he just like, he was one of my first crushes, probably my first crush of all time, because he was so funny, so physically funny, so like he seemed so confident, right? And like he's just brilliant. And then as I got older, like once it clicked to me that he like passed away, and like I don't know.
So you were into him before he died?
Yeah.
Because I came to him later because he died in 97.
Yeah. Right, I like think, the very end of 97.
Yeah, I think I didn't really see my first Chris Farley stuff until I was like 8 or 9, so it would have been after he was already dead. So like I always knew that, had this knowledge that like, oh, he's no longer with us.
Yeah, and I still remember when he died because it was a big deal in my family, and I think it like hit me harder than I would have realized at that age because I would have only been 6, but it was after we moved here, like to Vegas from Canada.
That's a heavy age to hear like, oh, that guy you like watching, he's dead.
Yeah, he fucking died.
Like, what?
And also it wasn't like, I mean, I guess it would have been a tragic accident, right? But it's not like he like got in a plane crash or something like that. Like he overdosed. He was an addict.
Do you think that was like one of your first experiences with death?
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely, actually.
Wow.
And the older that I get, the more research I've done on him, and like he just was such a beautiful person. Like what everyone says about him is that he was so self-deprecating, and so like he truly didn't like believe in himself. And unfortunately he was always cast right as like the funny fat guy, which I can definitely relate to. And he always was like super insecure about that because he's like, is that the reason why people fucking love me? Is that the only reason? So that's why he played it up all the time. But if you watch Tommy Boy is a perfect example of like his range. Like he's a fucking actor, and he's believable, and he's like so beautiful. And I don't know, he just always inspired me in so many ways that like it's hard for me to articulate how much I love him. And I do think he fell into addiction because he was always constantly made fun of. And I think that it's important for us to, you know, look at the way that we talk to people and treat people, especially, well, not especially, but, you know, fat people. Like, we're fucking people, and we contain multitudes, and like we're not just a fucking stereotypical like fucking joke. And unfortunately in this movie there is so much fat phobia. And like
the description on HBO Max was like an overweight salesman, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, like every like 5 minutes at least there's like another joke about him being fat, and it's really fucking sad because that was like his worst fear. But also he was like, this is the reason why I have money, this is the reason why people love me, this is the reason why I'm famous, it's the reason why I have a job.
It would be horrible to think like, oh, if I ever did lose weight, would my career end?
Yeah.
I'm like, geez.
And it's not like he went to like rehab 1 or 2 times. Homie went to rehab like, I want to say I've read like 15 to 20 times. And you know, he really battled, and he really tried, and there were so many people that truly believed in him and really wanted him to, you know, heal. And unfortunately it took him, and it's really fucking sad. And yeah, I just wonder if like our world was different. I wonder if like he wouldn't have died because of his addiction, you know?
I don't think so. I do think the 90s, much like how we've talked about like the early 2000s, seemed to be a uniquely like women hating time.
Yeah.
I feel like the 90s were a uniquely fat phobic time.
For sure.
On like another level.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, it was so common, it was so accepted, and that was like the go-to joke for everybody for everything. And it was just like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah,
so I get so mad when people on the internet are like, oh my god, we're like quote unquote promoting unhealthy
obesity,
and I'm just like, can you shut the fuck up? Like, it was so bad for so long. God forbid people like are recapturing their confidence and not giving a fuck what you think.
Right. And also, it's like promoting obesity, like you're it's as if you're thinking that the world will ever accept you when you're fat. Like, promoting in what way? How is this promoting? Like, how am I gonna benefit from being fatter in society?
Right, like, it's like I'm literally just loving myself, and that's a problem for you?
Yeah, like I won't get anything from this other than my own like self-love. Like, you think that society will hold me to a different, like, I don't know, like the promoting obesity doesn't make sense to me. It, like, the idea of it.
Yeah, it's wildly insulting that you just like living your life and having love for yourself is quote unquote promoting obese. It's like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, I could go on and on, but like, he's probably my favorite actor ever, and he's one of my favorite people ever, and I just love him so much. I could really go on and on about it, but I just love him very much, and I think that he was robbed of life because of genuinely fatphobia. I really do think that.
I do think so too, and I think you're right that if he had been born like 10 years later or 15 years later, like, it could have been really different, because he does have just such like a joy and an energy, and like he just like shines, and he's very easy to watch him do anything,
and he's so handsome, and he's so like, he just has this like beautiful, like, everyone talked it, like, everyone is devastated talking about Chris Farley dying because he was such a pure human being, and I think that's what like hurts me the most, is like how pure he seemed, and how like he seemed like he was so confident, but he was really so not, and he was always questioning himself, and everyone's like, dude, you're the fucking man, everyone's obsessed with you, and he's like, no, like, no one really loves me, like, are you sure? Like, it's just so sad. And you know, I feel like I tried very hard my whole life to like emulate him in certain ways, because he's just so beautiful. And yeah, I do think he was robbed. So think about that before you make a fat joke, okay? That's all I gotta say. But yeah, this is my favorite movie, and I really appreciate that we're able to cover this movie. And you know, I like didn't even take any notes because I've seen it so many times that like I know it back to front. So I'm excited to hear though what you think, because I feel like we haven't talked about it very much ever. So
okay, and I'll go back to corporate bullshit.
Okay, cool. Love you guys.
The runtime is one of our faves, 97 minutes, close to the ideal 90.
Yup.
Budget was $20 million and it boxed $32 million, so commercially successful.
Hell yeah.
I thought it was interesting that this movie came out 1 month after Billy Madison, which we can talk about, has like a pretty similar plot.
Yeah.
But this had a much bigger budget and made a lot more money.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomato score, the critic score is 41%.
Oof.
But audience score is 90%. Which is like a very big difference.
90 is a huge percent. That, I would say, like, our average for audience is like 78 or like 75. So that's huge.
90.
That's very cool.
Shay?
I'm already mad. I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
You're gonna be really mad, and you're gonna scream at just how wrong Roger Ebert was.
Oh, I didn't even think about this until this very fucking moment of how Arthur Fisty I'm gonna be.
Oh, I try not to shout as I read this. I have 2 pull quotes.
Okay.
He gave it 1 star. He said, "Tommy Boy is one of those movies that plays like an explosion down at the screenplay factory. You can almost picture a bewildered office boy, his face smudged with soot, wandering through the ruins and rescuing pages at random. Too bad they didn't mail them to the insurance company instead of filming them." I'm like, okay, pretty writing, but what the hell? Why are you being so mean?
Go fuck yourself, Ebert.
And then this one is the one that I think is just like straight up wrong, and you're gonna be aghast. "No one is funny in Tommy Boy."
Are you fucking kidding me?
Next one. "There are no memorable lines."
You are out of your fucking mind.
Joke's on you, Ebert, because this shit gets quoted all the time.
Literally all the time, I believe.
Fat guy in a little coat. People who haven't even seen the movie know that line.
Absolutely. What?
None of these characters are interesting except for the enigmatic figure played by Rob Lowe, who seems to have wandered over from Hamlet.
What? That's who he saw? That's what he saw. Okay.
But yeah, that's Ebert was not a fan. It was very wrong.
No one was funny?
There are no memorable lines. I'm like, even if you don't think someone's subjectively funny, there are hella memorable lines. This is a very quoted movie.
It's a very quotable. I quote this movie every day. Like literally every day at some point. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone wonders why I don't like Roger Ebert, it's because we hardcore disagree on like my favorite movies of all fucking time. Okay.
That's
and
all
he's
I had for
rude.
corporate bullshit. Yeah. I did want, before we crack into Tommy Boy specifically, I thought it might be fun to talk a little bit about like, why do we like road trip movies? Like, what is it about road trip movies that we like?
That's a great point. Or it's a great question to ask. I guess for me, I just love road trips personally. Like I'm a big, first of all, I love driving. I love road trips, and I love the tradition of road trips because I always like, I probably road trip the most with Stacy.
We've done a lot of road trips.
We've done a lot of road trips, and I think like we usually, like, I'll pick her up, she'll pick me up. Either one of us have already gotten us Red Bulls. That's like first and foremost. We usually will go to the gas station together and find the snacks that we want to eat along the way, like what would be fun and like shareable, and like, and then it's like, it's the conversations, it's the views, it's the music, it's the food, it's the, just like, I don't know, there's just something really magical about being in that space. And it all comes down to the person that you're with, you know, because I've been on road trips with people who fucking suck, and it's like the worst day of my life. And I'm like, if we were just hanging out on a regular day, it wouldn't be so bad. But like, because it's the road trip and I love road trips so much, like it's been like exponentially worse. I don't know. What do you think it is?
Yeah, 100% everything you just said. And I think there's just something about like being in a small confined space with someone with knowledge that you are going to be there for quite literal hours.
Yeah.
Which is like a great thing if you like them.
Yeah, like with you, it's the best day of my life.
Even if you don't like them, you are going to bond.
In some way, yeah, you'll know more about them.
Exactly. Like you are going to learn stuff about that person that you probably wouldn't have otherwise learned.
That's very true. That is very, very true.
And I also think there's an element to, if you're the driver, you know, on some level, like you literally are like responsible for this person's life.
Very true.
And like you have to be paying attention and make sure you're not too tired and like thinking about gas and like all that stuff. And if you're a passenger, you are trusting that person to transport you at like dizzying speeds. So it's like almost like a trauma bonding environment. And
I do also think, on top of what you just said, which is so true, I think there are like inherent roles that like each person is playing. So like the driver, they're in charge of like, obviously, driving, which is the big part of being on a road trip. The person who's in the passenger seat, they're responsible for divvying of the snacks. They're responsible for like grabbing stuff from the back seat. They're responsible for like a lot of the time like the playlist or like even helping with directions, you know, like they're it's a big responsibility to be not only driving but also be in the passenger seat. And I think like, yeah, each person is trusting the other in a big way. I mean, obviously there's a literal life or death situation with like the person driving, but yeah, you really are like putting a lot of trust in each other.
Yeah, and if anything goes wrong, you're like stuck with that person.
Yeah.
Like we see in Tommy Boy.
Yes.
A lot of shit goes wrong and they bond over it.
That's right. That is true. That is very true. I don't think I've ever road tripped with someone that I didn't like already. Have you?
I have to be very careful. Because I have to do a lot of travel for work.
That is true.
I wouldn't say that it's like people I don't like, but it's definitely like I've had to road trip with people I straight up barely know. And there's always like an apprehension of like will this go well? Is this going to go well or is it going to be weird? Yeah, I would say it's sense. Like I don't like them though. I don't think I've ever had to road trip on somebody like I actively disliked. Right. I think that would be really hard.
And that's why I'm like thinking about, because we obviously haven't covered the movie, but if you've seen it already, you know, like Tommy and Richard don't, like Tommy doesn't mind Richard, I don't think, but Richard like straight up doesn't like Tommy.
And you could see why. And just as a quick plot synopsis, it's actually more similar to Billy Madison than I thought rewatching it. Because the plot is like wealthy, successful dad owns a company. He wants his kid to go to college. In this case, Tommy Boy does graduate college, comes back, And he's like, he wants to teach him about the company. He's going to learn about the company. But then the dad tragically passes away unexpectedly. So now the young kid has to take on the role of this company that he doesn't really know much about.
Yeah.
And much like in Billy Madison, there's this other person who feels like they actually have worked really hard and know everything about the company. And they're like, why does this guy get to run the company? He's an idiot.
That's true. That is very true.
But instead of being like straight up evil in Billy Madison,
yeah,
this guy is David Spade. And it is interesting to have like, he's not like an antagonist. He's an antagonist to Tommy Boy. But in the world of the film, he's still like very funny. And he's kind of right. At the end of the day.
Yeah, like the way that Lorne Michaels described it to the writers, because...
Oh, and I forgot to say, sorry, this movie was produced by Lorne Michaels, who famously created Saturday Night Live, runs it to this day, and is directed by Peter Siegel, who did a bunch of Adam Sandler movies, actually. Mm-hmm. Not Billy Madison, that would be weird. But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, it's okay, yeah, and so the writers were... I think their last name is Turner. It's like something in Bonnie Turner. They also wrote that 70s show. So they're like very famous, successful writers. And, Chris Farley and David Spade both like helped write it as well. And they like added their own like little bit like, oh, we got to put this in there. We got to put this joke. You said this one thing last week that was so fucking funny. But like what Lorne Michaels said to all of them when they were like creating the idea was he was like, David Spade is the guy who like acts like he's like the smartest guy in the fucking room, and Tommy's the guy following him around like making jokes and like taking notes and like asking him questions, and we really want to like emulate that in the fucking movie, which you can definitely see. And like I wouldn't say that David Spade is an antagonist, but I will say he's like he's like the guy that's like very often like annoyed, or like Stacey and I talk about like the angry friend. Mm-hmm. Like he's kind of like the angry friend who's just like rolling his eyes like, I don't want to fucking do this, dude. Like,
yeah, it takes on like a lot of responsibility that maybe like no one even needs to take on. But this, he feels like he's like got the weight of the company on him, and he's like really frustrated. And he doesn't think Tommy Boy gets it.
Yeah, and he's also mourning because he said like later on in the movie, because we're Tommy's dad dies, and that was like David Spade's kind of like father as well. It was his father figure. And
he has like a great scene where he's like, oh yeah, like you got to mess up all the time because he was your dad and he could fix it. Like not everyone has that shit. Like I had to work for my way and all that.
Yep. He's like, I'm just a big guy. It's you really understand where David Spade's coming from, even though like his frustration can be annoying because you're like, just look at this guy, he's lovable.
Bro. Yeah.
But it's like if you put yourself in his shoes, he's like, yeah, this is all on me. It looks like it's all on him, but it's actually all fucking on me because I'm the one that's telling Tommy how to do fucking everything.
Right, and he was Tommy Boy's dad's like right-hand man, so he was like very involved in running the company.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great... It's such a good premise, and it's so funny, and you can really see their dynamic in the movie, like how they are in real life, and it's actually very sweet. It ends up being like the cutest thing ever.
Yes. And the actual antagonists are very interesting too, because it's like you as the viewer learn early on that they're the antagonists, but like a lot of people in the movie don't know yet, so you're like watching them ruin everything and try to drive the company into the ground. You're like, no.
Yeah, and I
and they're pretending to be mother and son, which is really creepy because they're actually married.
And also like, I guess for the first time, I was watching, when we watch movies we know are going to be for the podcast, we kind of like dissect them more than usual. And I've seen this movie like a million fucking times, but this was the first time that I really like clocked that, like, so Tommy Sr. is like describing to Tommy Boy like how he and his wife met, and he's like, oh, we met at this gym. It's called like Fat Farms.
Oh God.
Yikes. Yeah, met at this gym called Fat Farm, and he was like, she's the only trainer that I didn't want to bite the head off of or whatever, and her son works there too. And I'm like, how the fuck did they cover this up?
Yeah, like, also how? They don't, like, how old are they supposed to be?
Well, Bo Derek at this time was probably like in her 50s.
Really?
Maybe like 40s. Yeah.
Wow.
And then Rob Lowe in his 30s probably, I imagine, maybe early 30.
So I guess she would have been a very young mom to everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, it's just a little sus. I mean, well, not a little. It's very sus.
Yeah, but they're pretending that they're mother and son so that Bo Derek can marry Big Tommy and get, the fortune.
Get all the money. And then on the wedding day is when he ends up.
It's so sad. So I forgot, like, what a sad turn this movie takes. Like, they really go there for a comedy. Like, it's like funny, 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 funny. Dad dies, and it's like a full 5-minute scene of Chris Farley in mourning.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Like, one of the most important scenes I think I've ever seen is, like, after Tommy Sr. dies and after the funeral, he and his girl are, like, on a boat. Michelle. He and Michelle are on, like, a little dinghy boat, and they're talking about his dad. And, like, the way that Chris Farley is just like, yeah, I'm really gonna miss him. Tears well up in his eyes, and he's, like, feeling that. Like, he feels that hard. Like, he's like, he's just truly acting. And I hate that people only see him as, like, I'll keep going on this tangent, but how people only see him as, like, the fat funny guy. Like, he's such a fucking good actor. Mm-hmm. Like, he would have done crazy serious roles if he still lived, Mm-hmm.
And the way, like, him and his dad actor portrayed it, like, you really believe it, and they really, like, get you invested in their father-son relationship. Like, super loving, super caring, very close, and it's like you get that from, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they look really similar, too.
They do. I was like, this is perfectly cast. This dad is perfect.
I know. Ugh, it's so good. But, yeah, that scene is also fucking dope, where he's just, like... the kids are, like, yelling at him and being, like, super fatphobic.
Oh my gosh, yes, on the boat. Mm-hmm.
And then Michelle fucking scares the shit out of them by being like, I know where you live and I've seen where you sleep. I'm like, yes!
And your mothers will cry
when they see what I've done to you. And they're like, holy shit. Just run away. He's like, that was awesome. But yeah, that's before they decide to go on this road trip. So then maybe we should.
Another thing. I didn't realize, like, how much is built up before the road trip even starts.
Yeah.
Like, the road trip doesn't actually happen until, like, half an hour in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the rest is, like, full fucking road trip,
That's what
baby.
I mean. It's such an interesting movie because it starts off like Billy Madison comedy, then tragic death, then road trip movie, and then, like, a very high stakes ending.
Yeah, it is a high stakes ending. There's, like, so much that, I guess there's, like, so much that happens the last, like, half an hour. And it's cool because we actually know someone that's in the movie, fun fact. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, my family, like, knows somebody in the movie. I always forget it. I always forget that. And then, but anyway. What were some things that, like, stuck out to you in the movie that maybe you never clocked before?
Well, I'll admit, I have not seen this movie, like, that many times. Yeah. I've probably seen it, like, 5 times, which is a lot. But it's not, like, watch every day movie for me. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'd say that I was surprised at how much happened before the road trip and, like, how sad the dad dying stuff was. I think it's funny that they made so much fun of him for going to school for 7 years. Like, that was, like, the worst thing you could do.
I know.
And showed he was so stupid. I'm like, 7 years isn't, like, that long. A lot of people take longer than 4 years to finish college.
Yeah. I know some people that went to school for, like, 5-6 years just because they, like... They just, like, switch their major or, like, what? And school is fucking hard and it's expensive. Like, hello.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, I don't think expensive was Chris Farley.
No, not at all.
Character's problem. But
I'm just saying in general, that's, like, a common issue. But, yeah, no, that definitely wasn't his problem.
I forgot that they start off with, like, little Tommy as, like, a little kid, and he's, like, late for school. Yeah. And he goes, holy shnikes, and he's like, oh my god, he's so cute.
And then he's, like, running after the bus, and he's like, shut up, Richard. Yeah, Richard shows them as little kids.
So cute.
They are so cute.
I did write, were the 90s obsessed with rich deadbeat kids? Because I realized it was 1 month after Billy Madison, and, like, Clueless. I feel like there's a lot of movies about, like, rich kids and what are they doing.
Yeah, like, what are they up to? What importance do they have in society?
I think probably left over from the 80s when everyone got so rich.
Yeah.
And people were like, what's with these kids? They haven't done shit.
It's like, and why? They're kids, bro. They're young as fuck. What is wrong with you?
What have they done? It's like, everyone's just lucky, okay?
Yeah, exactly. I do like how, like, hard in the paint that they go for, like, the people that work at Callahan.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm like, clearly Tommy Boy spent a lot of time with these people and seems close to them. Yeah. So maybe college took a while because he was going back to the factory. You know, like, maybe he wasn't going constantly.
Yeah, and I do need to say,
all the shade.
I need to say also, a lot of people wouldn't know this, but Chris grew up in a very similar way. His dad owned an oil company.
Holy.
And in fact, I think his cousin is like the main guy at like Ford. So
Wow.
Yikes. But like, yeah, so he grew up wealthy, like for sure. And he would go back, like, because he did graduate from, it starts with an M, but it's basically like the university in like Madison, Wisconsin, I think. That's where he was born. It's called like Marquette or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And like he would often like go back and work for his dad at this oil company. Like it was very similar to yeah. And his dad's name was Thomas as well.
Oh, wow. Well, you said he had a lot of input on the script, so maybe that's where all that's coming from.
Yeah, so like he knew this life, you know, and I wonder if that is like very similar to his real life. Like he probably knew these fucking people, like everyone that worked at the factory and things like that. And I'm glad that they put this in the movie because it's true. Like, if you just sell the company, you're like, whatever, I have a shit ton of money, so who cares? It's like, yeah, but all the people that work here lose their fucking jobs. Yeah. So.
And I also do love the concept that rich people have that if their kid graduates college, then that is what makes them deserve to inherit the company and make tons of money.
Right.
And I've been to college. I've gotten 2 degrees. It's a lot of work. But if you're rich and privileged, it will happen. Yeah. It's not really about like gaining a ton of knowledge. It's about doing the stupid classes and studying for stupid tests and giving them a pile of money so that they give you a piece of paper. Yep. And I got introduced to this concept called privilege laundering, which I can't remember where I heard it. And I've tried Googling and I can't figure out where it started. But it's this idea of like, rich people go to college to get the credentials so that people will then say that, no, it's okay that they've inherited all this money because they went to whatever fancy college.
And I think we did talk about this on the Billy Madison episode, too. Okay. I think so, because like I had never heard of this before.
Broken record.
No, not at all. It's important to talk about because I didn't know about it until you told me.
But you'll hear so often people like, oh, well, this person went to Harvard, so it's okay that they're like rich. And it's like, well, I mean, it's kind of circular because they got into Harvard because they're rich. So yeah. I don't really think it's like shows or proves anything. Right.
Sammy. Yeah, it's a really good point because we all feel like, I don't know, and this is why like comparison is the thief of fucking joy because you compare yourself to people who are in these like crazy positions and you're like, see, like they went to school and they worked hard. It's like, no, a lot of the time those people were gonna get that position anyway.
They were gonna get that position. They had a lot of support at college. They weren't stressed financially. They had all the time in the world. You know, it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fucked because some people just will have that life and there's nothing that anyone could do about it.
Like Trump went to elite schools. Do we really think that like made him super smart? Like no.
No, he's a fucking idiot.
He's stupid. It's like he's rich and successful because his dad is rich and successful. Yeah. And that's the story of a lot of American wealth.
Yeah.
Because at some point when you get that kind of generational wealth, it's like hard to fuck it up. Yeah. And Trump did. He got close to like fucking it up, which is hard to do.
Yeah, he's like gone bankrupt a lot.
Yeah, and it's like, how is that possible? You have New York real estate. It should be infallible. And you're still fuc
fucking it up. Yep. Seems like, you know, they just have privilege.
And it's like, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It really doesn't.
No, it's fucked. The whole system is fucked. And we could go on and on about that because that's just, it is what it is. Unfortunately.
But anyway, that's all I have on the whole college thing, which is like only the first 15 minutes, but still.
No, but it's accurate. It's so true, and it's something that like we don't really think about, but it's really true. And I'm glad that it seems like Tommy in this movie and maybe Chris Farley in real life were very much like, no, I care about these people, and like, yeah, I could sell the company, I could make mad money, and I don't want to fucking do that. Like, these people deserve jobs.
Succeeds not because he went to college,
yeah,
but because it's like he's got street smarts, you know, how to talk to people.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that either. Like his degree really didn't do anything for him in his position. It was more so about having street smarts, knowing how to talk to people, liking people, loving people, like wanting to connect with them, and like
Yeah, and he was so eager to help. He's like, I'll put up my stock, I'll put up my house, I'll go on this road trip. Like, he was ready to do whatever it took.
Yeah, to keep the company afloat, to keep people their jobs. I mean, keep people their jobs. What? Have these people keep their job. Bam. There we go. Nailed it. Yeah. And I love that concept because it's like, yeah, the working man deserves a fucking job, bitch, after working there their whole fucking life. Fuck you.
Yeah. Totes.
Anyway.
I did write that it's always funny when someone breaks a piece of furniture. Whether they're big, small, what have you. Like, one of my favorite parts of the Eric Andre show is that he spends the first 10 minutes just absolutely demolishing his desk. And I love it every time.
No.
There's something about it.
And I know that they were like, okay, Chris has to fall through a fucking coffee table because that's like his fucking thing. At SNL, at Second City, which, by the way, his first day at Second City, same as Stephen Colbert.
Wow.
They started on the same exact day. Fun fact. Stacy loves Stephen Colbert. But yeah, like at Second City, at SNL, like his thing was fucking falling on furniture and breaking it, and everyone fucking went ape shit every fucking time, and I don't blame them because it's great every time.
It's always so funny.
So I'm sure they're like, okay, we need a coffee table scene right away so people know what's
crashing
up.
Through a door, really any destruction of property, it's always going to be great.
Also, I do need to say, and I feel like I've said this before with many people who are like physical actors, but it is not fucking easy. You have to have so much stamina and so much strength to be such a physical fucking actor. And two of my favorite people of all time, Jack Black and Chris Farley, are both fat, and they're both so fucking athletic, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And
light
like
on their feet.
It makes me die when people are like, oh, they're fat and lazy and it's like, do you even like Chris Farley was a rugby player. They have to run, they have to have stamina, they have to like be fucking strong.
It's like, yeah, just watch him for 5 seconds. He's like so lithe and graceful and like,
yeah. Him and Jack Black, they're both just
shaking.
like, yeah, they're incredible actual athletes, LOL, but seriously. And so, anyway.
I love that meme about Lizzo, too, where it's like, Lizzo tours and dances and plays the flute and sings every single night for hours.
Yeah.
You will never get near that level of exercise.
Dude. Even us doing karaoke the other night, singing like a handful of songs, you get out of breath. Yeah, me doing a half an hour set just singing, I was out of fucking breath and I was sweating like a goddamn, I don't even know what, James Gandolfini, but like fucking insanity. So for them to be like twerking and playing the flute and like, yeah, it's just, it's so, these people are athletes, okay? So fuck you, Fatphobia. I'll say it 1,000 times this episode, but I'm like, and every day of my life, all the time.
Not you, dear listener, because you're smart and enlightened and you would never be such a hater.
Yeah, you wouldn't be that type of person because you're just way better than that. But anyway, yeah, no, I love how physical it is, and it truly, like, this movie is such a showcase into like how athletic and so fucking funny he is, and it kills me. Everything about this movie makes me cry laughing.
I mean, they're just like joke after joke after joke. Even when he was doing the fan talking, I was like, is this where I learned to fan talk, or does everyone do this? Like, I don't know anymore.
I am your father. And then David Spade comes in and he's just like, I've interrupted half the time.
It's like, you would understand why he'd be so mad. And he even says when Tommy Boy first gets the office, he goes, oh, look, you have a window, because why shouldn't you?
You've been here for 10 minutes. Or the part where he's just like his dad is like, so read over these books and then we'll get you started. And Tommy like starts like looking at the books, and then Richard like walks up to him and he goes, it's called reading. Full sentences. Read words from left to right. Form full sentences. Take Advil for any headaches. Midol for any cramps. Just like walks out, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
He's I love how Chris Farley's always just like, shut up,
Richard.
Like, he never has anything to say back, really.
I know. He's like, I
literally like mumble off, and David Spade like, what was that? And he's like, nay.
Yeah, like at the beginning where he's just like, I did call.
Such like a little kid. And that's the thing, Chris Farley is such like a little kid quality.
Yeah.
Like, he's very good at portraying like boyish joy, but also like just stupid kid lies where it's like, this is so dumb and no one's ever gonna believe you, and you're like getting too wrapped up in your own stupid lies.
So like how he's just like, I did call. Really? From what now? I called like a 471-9-5, and then he's just like, I'm sorry, did you say 9er? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
Or like when the car door breaks and he tries to cover it up and he's just like so nervous, and then David Spade opens the car door, it breaks off, and he goes, what'd you do? It's like, oh my god, like everyone knows you did this.
It's so, It's so funny, excuse me. It's so fucking funny. He's just, boyish joy. That's a great way to put it. And that he is just so charming and very like pure. Like I would say that's like one of the best words to describe him.
Like you're getting what you're getting. There's no deceit, there's no manipulation, there's no pretending.
Yeah. He's just a cutie pie.
I mean, and this also has one of the, I think, best comedy scenes of all time when Chris Farley reenacts the car crash with the guy's model car.
I can fucking reenact the fuck out of that.
Funny.
You're driving along. Somebody's yelling in the backseat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
Oh, what's that, a train? Oh, no, I can't stop.
I can't feel my legs. Here comes the meat wagon. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. And the man gets out and he's like, oh my God. And then the guy's in the corner puking his guts out. All because you wanted to save a couple extra pennies. And to me, it doesn't get out. Do you validate? Now.
Oh, it's like a pretty big fire.
It is.
I like now being older, I'm watching. I'm like, someone needs to put that out.
Yeah, and the fact that the guy's pissed makes fucking sense. And it's also like one of those model cars that probably costs $1,000. Oh my
God, so funny! He lights it on fire. It's incredible.
Yeah, we could go over every funny fucking part of the movie, but we just simply can't. There's
so
too many. Another one that I love. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's too much. But they do get in a physical fight, and that shit is fucking funny. Yes. And David Spade / Richard just takes a fucking piece of wood that he gets out of nowhere and just like whacks him on the face.
And then tries to say there's no mark, even though the waitress just like, what happened to your face?
Yeah, he's just like, I don't feel it here so much or here so much, but right here. And Richard's like, no, I don't say anything. Oh, okay. And then the waitress comes over. Jesus, what happened to your face? I knew it. And he's not pissed. He's just like, whatever.
I love the bee trick too.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're swerving and David Spade's drinking, but Tommy Boy thinks the cops are going to think it's him. So he like swerves some more and then gets out of the car. And it's like, bees, they're everywhere. Oh my God.
And both of the cops are like, I'm allergic to bees. Yeah, me too. Go. They're like, oh, get down on the ground. Bye. And just run away. Typical.
Yeah. And then the last half hour, Tommy has an epiphany and he says, I got a plan. And David Spade just goes, yikes.
Yeah, I got a plan. Yikes.
So good. And I'll just say we love a terrorist plot to help the working class.
Yeah.
That's how this movie ends.
Yep. Straight up. Just, you know what? I need your watch. I need those road flares. I'm going to tape them up and we'll figure it out later. But speaking of that, the guy that I know, he plays one of the security guards in like the big building. And he's the one that's being interviewed by the news. And he's just like, and since I got hit in the head 7 times by a hammer, his father worked with my grandfather City.
Oh, how lovely.
So and his sister, my parents went to her wedding, and so they're like very close. So he moved to LA to become an actor, and he got into Tommy Boy, which is nuts. He's from my city.
Also in SNL.
No.
Okay, because I was like, maybe that's why your family started watching it.
No, that would have been fucking cool. But no. But shouts out to Halifax, awesome. Baby, for just honestly like
Halifax bringing the Halifax.
Bringing the Halifax, and also just producing stars like him, like Elliot Page, like Sarah McLachlan, like Shea Mayo, just et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, no, that shit is so fun with the hammer. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Another thing I love about this ending is like, okay, so Rob Lowe and Bo Derek are the bad people, and like it ends with Rob Lowe like getting fucked by being in a car crash for like a car crash dummy, and then his like balls get crushed. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's wild.
The kind of violence on 90s movies that we all were just like hee hee, but like in real life would have killed somebody.
Oh, like him being slammed into that chair, like he would have died already from that. Exactly. Like just that by itself. Then the beanbag shit coming down and like squishing his fucking nuts, like that would have chopped his dick off.
Yeah, or just like full blunt force trauma dead.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's like, he's getting his just desserts. But then I thought it was very funny that the movie does not seek revenge against Bo Derek. In fact, not only does nothing bad happen to her, she ends up getting with the rival wealthy car salesman who fully knows that she lied. Like, he was there for the whole scene of her being like, I'm a liar, is actually married to this guy. And he's like, hey, you want to go on a date? And I was like, what?
Yeah, and all she said was, I have no idea what he's talking about. Yes. And then they're like, oh, okay. What? Dan Aykroyd? Also another SNL star, shouts out.
This. Yeah, he's like, I'm all right with this. Whatever. You want to get some dinner?
He's like, she's fine.
Like, sure.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm like, I love that this bitch is like getting away with it scot-free.
Me too. You know what?
It's kind of amazing.
It is amazing. And I feel like Rob Lowe really was like the dude like behind all the mess.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact about him, he was not credited in the movie. And he made that choice because he was like, I really want people to like not know that I'm gonna be like coming, like I don't want people to know that I'm like the bad guy or whatever. Which I still don't fully understand.
But he's not in the credits?
No, he's uncredited in the movie.
So I know this came up when I was researching a different movie, but I know he had that weird sex scandal where he got busted for like sleeping with this 16-year-old girl.
Maybe who did? Rob Lowe? Oh, I don't know.
Like in the late 80s.
Yikes.
Came out in 95.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
That's gross.
The whole sex tape came out. Yeah.
How is he still working?
I didn't know she was that young. It was the 80s though, you know.
That is fuck. No, I had no idea.
And he was like 24. Like he wasn't super old.
Okay, but
I do feel like an idiot 24-year-old could be like, I thought she was older, and like genuinely believe it.
That's fucked up though. That's really fucked.
Yeah,
I did not know that. And he's also in another one of my favorite movies that we're going to cover later. So I'm not going to say it. But yeah, no, that's
even closer in time to the scandal though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big fucking yikes. Yeah, no. I don't, yeah, like the whole reasoning, like I guess the movie initially, the idea was, and this is before Lauren was like, no, we need it to be about David Spade and Chris Farley. They were thinking of a movie, like a buddy movie with Chris Farley and Rob Lowe. And it was going to be about like their dynamic, whatever, I guess. Like
I'm sure the dynamic's like, Rob Lowe's hot and fit.
Yeah.
Chris Farley's fat.
I'm sure. You know? Yeah, I'm certain that that's exactly. And it's funny. It's like, why? Yeah. Why is that funny? But before Lauren put like the kibosh on him, was like, no, we're going to do these guys. Like, we need to do their dynamic.
Are they like that in real life?
Who?
Like, are they like, was David Spade always ribbing Farley?
Yeah, so they shared an office together at SNL. And Chris was always like asking David, like, wait, David, tell me how to do that. Like, is this joke funny? And David was just like, oh my fucking God,
you're so annoying.
Fuck up. You're so fucking annoying. And their dynamic was very much that. Like, David Spade would be like, dude, you're dumb. And Chris was like, hee, but you love me. And they would always like kind of crush on the same girls, and David would get them, and then Chris would get like really fucking pissed, and Chris would like call and like threaten to kill him, and then David would be like, I don't want to see you today, and he'd be like, are you still mad at me? I was just kidding. And David's like, no the fuck you weren't, you were being so serious. And
you're scaring me, Val.
Yeah, they had like a brother relationship, and even so much so that for Chris Farley's funeral, David Spade couldn't even go. Like, he couldn't even bring himself to go because he's like,
it is horrible. Like, I can't imagine they're both the same age. They were both 33 years old.
Yeah.
Chris died, and I just must have been such a trip.
Yeah, just god awful, and I can't imagine, especially because all his friends were always like, dude, you need to go to rehab. You need to like do this, and you need to do that, and I'm sure if you're seeing this like car crash happen in slow motion, like that must be so horrifying to know that there's really nothing that you can do. And anyway, yeah, just awful. But shouts out to my king, Chris Farley, because he is just he brings so much joy to the world.
He truly shines in this film.
Yeah, he does.
Like you said, amazing range.
Yeah,
amazing range.
Like physical comedy, otherwise comedy, so much emotion. He can literally like cry at the drop of a hat, make it so believable. And like, I really do think he would have pulled a Sandler like in his older age. I think he really would have.
Same thing, like these great comedic actors. Jim Carrey, not as much,
but yeah, still
serious roles.
Yeah, I think he would have. I think he would have done the same thing Sandler's been doing, that Jim Carrey's been doing. And like I said, it makes a difference when you see everyone talking about Chris and everyone gets emotional talking about him and everyone gets so sad. Like all of his old coworkers and people that used to write and work in the office, like everyone is just like, dude, he was the fucking best. And like, it sucks, you know? So anyway, love my king. You'll always be my first true love. Yeah. Yeah, the movie's great. I don't know. Did we talk about the ending? I guess we didn't.
Just that it ended with a terrorist plot and that Bo Derek gets away with it.
Yeah, she gets away with it. And then, yeah, at the very end, it's like heavily implied that he and Michelle are together. He's like, I'm late for dinner. I have to go over to Michelle's for dinner. And he's on the dinky boat by himself dinghy boat by himself. And he's like, I need a little wind. I'm just like sitting out here. And Dad, if you could help me, that's cool. And if you can't, that's all right. And then his dad, you know, creates the wind for him to get back to the shore. Sweet. And he's like, thanks, Dad. So sweet. And the movie ends with the sail hitting him in the head. And he's like, that's going to leave a mark. And then the movie ends. But it's so very Farley. And I highly suggest, if you haven't seen it and you're ready for a ride, pun intended.
It's definitely the most Farley movie you could watch.
Yeah, like the quintessential fucking Farley. There's more, you know, like Beverly Hills Ninja and Almost Heroes and et cetera, et cetera. But I would say this is the most Farley fucking movie ever. And it was written for him about what kind of person he is. And so, like, I highly recommend that you watch it. It's very good.
And it's streaming on HBO right now. Or Max, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves now.
Yeah. And I think it's on Amazon Prime too. Or not Prime. It's on Amazon, though. So... yeah, it's the best. I'm so glad we got to talk about it.
Me too.
It's my fave. I feel like I was all over the place because I love it so much that I'm just like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to end. I don't know where to start. But I do have some trivia for Stacy.
Hell yeah.
So let me go to the questions. Okay. What is Tommy Boy's favorite saying?
Holy shnikes.
Nice. How many years did he go to college?
7.
What did Tommy and his new brother-to-be do for fun when he first came to town?
Cow tipping.
Nice. Tommy marks blank Hancock as one of the founders of the Constitution.
Herbie.
Yep. Which is, okay, this is also like a weird connection, I must say. He... like where he died was in his apartment, which was at it was like the building was called John Hancock. Super weird. Oh, I don't know if you'll get this one. I think you probably will. According to Richard, Big Tom could sell something to a woman in white gloves. What is it?
A ketchup popsicle.
Yes.
It's so like vivid.
Yep. And I quote that all the time because there are certain people that just are so charming they can like kind of convince you to do fucking anything, and you're just like, why did I do that?
Jay-Z has a line. He says he could sell water to a well.
Who does?
Jay-Z.
Aw. Yeah. I mean, shouts out to him, honestly. But yeah, that's all I got. Stacey got a 100%.
Dang, I'm so proud of him. I did watch it today, though, so it's like unusually fresh in my mind. And I have found a Which Tommy Boy movie character are you quiz.
What?
Which is very exciting.
That's amazing.
It is like totally like amateur created quiz, so we'll see what we're in for.
Uh-oh. Whenever we do these, it's always a hit or miss,
like
but it's
a million questions. I'm like, dear God.
Yes.
Okay. Who is your favorite character? Tommy, Richard, Big Tom?
Tommy.
Oh.
Of course. Love you, Chris.
What is you feeling when someone make fun of you? Feel sad? Feel depressed? Feel happy?
Sad.
Why would you feel happy?
I'm very sad.
Okay, next question. Are you willing to do anything for your family? Yes, no, maybe yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a good friend? Yes, no, maybe yes.
Hard yes.
Yeah.
Big yes.
If you get a chance to play a role in this movie, what will you do? Accept offer, take time, reject offer.
Accept offer. Oh my God, if I could be in fucking Tommy Boy, I mean, granted, I would have been 4, but still.
What do you think which character suits you? Tommy, Richard, Big Tom.
This is pointed. Tommy for sure.
Okay. What do you like most in this movie? Direction, acting, story?
The acting.
Okay. Do you like the character of Tommy in this movie? Yes. No. Maybe yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hardest yes in the whole entire
Do you
universe.
like this movie? Yes. No. Maybe yes.
Yes, I do. Believe it or not.
How much rating will you give to this movie? 7, 8, or 9 are the only options.
I love that that's, I guess 9? Like the highest score is 9?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
All right.
9.
Tommy suits you. You are similar to Tommy mindset. Wow. That was an interesting quiz. Let me get back to the beginning for you. I'm going to have to really spice it up with my answers. So that we don't
No, be
focus
true to
on you,
yourself.
okay?
True to your heart. You must be true to your heart. Okay. Who is your favorite character? Tommy, Richard, or Big Tom?
Richard. Could change it up.
What is your feeling when someone makes fun of you? You feel sad, feel depressed, or feel happy?
Depressed.
Are you willing to do anything for your family? Yes, no, maybe yes.
I'd say maybe yes, because like which family member are we talking about and what do they want?
See, I was just thinking of like immediate family.
Oh, okay.
But do you have good friend? Yes, no, maybe yes.
Yes.
Hard yes. If you get a chance to play a role in this movie, what will you do? Accept offer, take time, or reject offer?
Accept offer.
Accept offer, baby. What do you think which character suits you? Tommy, Richard, or Big Tom?
Richard. Let's stick with our Richard answers.
Yes. You are the smart one.
Oh,
You're welcome.
You're very smart.
Thanks, but you're very smarter. What do you like the most in this movie? The direction, the acting, or the story?
What about the story? I really enjoyed the many twists and turns.
I do too. Do you like the character of Tommy in this movie? Yes, no, or maybe yes?
Yes.
She knew what answer to say. If she said no, I don't know what I would do. Do you like this movie? Yes, no, maybe yes.
Yes.
Hard, yes. How much rating will you give to this movie? 7, 8, or 9?
Baby.
9, full score. Richard suits you. You are similar to Richard.
We're
are Tommy and Richard
Oh
forever.
my
We'll find
God.
love. We'll love
Wow.
you, Richard, forever, forever. We'll find love. Anyways, that was beautiful. And of course, we were made for each other. I mean, I think that's just like the gist of the end of every episode that we record.
You're welcome.
But we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for. I know this was like a less funny episode because it's something I'm like very fucking serious about. I love him and it does make me very sad. I literally cried. So
Well, it's an important moment in the Blockbuster era.
that's true.
His career and him dying. It's huge. I think it kind of defined the decade in some ways.
I think so too. And it's heavy, you know, because inherently when you think of Tommy Boy, you think of Chris Farley, and then you think of like how tragic his ending was. And actually, I do want to read a poem that he always carried with him all day, every day.
Oh my God. So sad.
And he was like super Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I'm no longer Catholic, but it's called the Clown Prayer. So it says, as I stumble through this life, help me to create more laughter than tears, dispense more happiness than gloom, spread more cheer than despair. Never let me become so indifferent that I will fail to see the wonder in the eyes of a child or the twinkle in the eyes of the aged. Never let me forget that my total effort is to cheer people, make them happy, and forget at least momentarily all of the unpleasantness in their lives. And in my final moment, may I hear you whisper, when you made my people smile, you made me smile.
That's so sweet.
And the fact that he carried it with him all the time is just so sweet. And I wanted to read it because I hope that like we provide some of that to all of you guys. And all of your messages about how we make your days brighter and we make you laugh and we make you feel less alone. Like, we don't take that lightly. We take that really seriously. And yeah, we just love you guys.
We love you so much. And thanks for embarking on this journey that is Road Trip Month.
Yeah. Oh, journey.
You like that?
Love that. But yeah, can't wait till next episode where it'll probably be a little less heavy. But we love you guys, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you to our producer Brent for his editing skills and to Grady for our delightful theme song.
If you have questions for us or would like to advertise with us, please email us at blockbusterwives@gmail.com.
And as always, please rate, subscribe, and tell all your friends about us.
We love you!